Good afternoon. Today we will study about the conjunctive adverbs when and if and subordinating conjunctions. Before we start to study about the class, I think I need to explain about my appearance today. Besides the content of the class, I underwent hard time to concentrate on studying because of the temptation. So I think it's good to practice to focus on the content of the class while I dress up like this. So let's try to study. Let's try to concentrate on the content of the class. The desensitizing from the impulse to please oneself with the physical perception while we try to focus on the study. Maybe the response from this appearance can be divided into two. A person who is okay with my appearance is healthy. The impulse. The other person who can feel uncomfortable from my appearance today by Jesus Christ, who allows to try to understand I believe that Jesus Christ heals us from our memories that were caused from our physical. Let's start to study about the conjunctive adverbs. The definition of the conjunctive adverbs is this. The speaker reveals the logical relationship between the experience, condition, or action that describes each subject in the two clauses with the conjunctive adverbs in a subordinate clause to specify the definition of the verb in the other clause, that is, the main clause. As the trait of an adverb is applied to specify the definition of the other description, the conjunctive adverbs are also applied to specify the description. Especially the conjunctive adverb is applied to link the subordinate clause to the main clause. The conjunctive adverb in the subordinate clause specifies the definition of the verb in the main clause. So we can understand that the adverb can specify the definition of the verb that is in the other clause. The clause to include a verb that the conjunctive adverb describes is the main clause. The clause that includes the conjunctive adverb and starts with the conjunctive adverb is the subordinate clause. There is a sentence. You saw the cookie after I told you about a cookie. The transitive verb saw to indicate the action of the listeners as in the main clause is the subject to start the definition of the conjunctive adverb after. as the preposition, one of the adverbs mediates the subject and object. The conjunctive adverb mediates the main clause as the subject and the subordinate clause as the object. The mediation of the preposition between the subject and the object is able to be applied in the relationship between the main clause and the subordinate clause linked by the conjunctive adverb after. We can see that the subordinate clause is this, after I told you about a cookie. We can also see that the main clause is this, you saw the cookie. The subject of the conjunctive adverb after is indicated by the transitive verb saw in the main clause. And the object of the conjunctive adverb to be conveyed from the subject indicated by the action is described in the subordinate clause. So the subject of the conjunctive adverb indicated by the transitive verb saw is behind the action indicated by the transitive verb told. The action of the listeners indicated by the transitive verb saw in the main clause conveys the definition of the conjunctive adverb after to the object. That is the action of the speaker indicated by the transitive verb told in the subordinate clause. There is a conference. The conference is stated with the switched order of the subordinate clause and the main clause. We can see that the punctuation mark or comma is applied to reveal that the statement of the subordinate clause is complete. The speaker conveys the main intention that the speaker intends to convey in the sentence with the main clause. The main intention that the speaker intends to convey in a sentence is stated in the main clause. So we can understand the main clause of the speaker to describe the action of the listeners in the past is stated behind the punctuation mark, comma, in this sentence. So the speaker who states the subordinate clause ahead of the main clause reveals that the main clause starts to be stated with a punctuation mark, a comma. We can see that the subject of the conjunctive adverb is stated in the main clause, and the object of the conjunctive adverb to receive the definition of the conjunctive adverb after is stated in the subordinate clause.